My mic's on. No more countdown. We're in the podcast here, guys. Obviously, it is recorded and not broadcasted live on our stream. But welcome everyone to the first podcast. Not the first week or second week, but we're gonna be doing week 3 from the Phoenix Rising League. My name is MightyRai at Real MightyRai on the Twitter. Right here, I got Falcon and FrankyG from CSU. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
I'm doing pretty well.
So,
Thank you.
So you guys being the organization itself, Falcon, you're the coach, right? I believe.
Technically, yes, I am. Kind of like a coordinator, coach, manager, all of the above.
Oh man, I love the banner in the back where it shows the CSU Rams back
Oh,
there.
yeah.
You know, yeah, I love that. That's
I
pretty
chose
cool.
the perfect wall to show off.
Yeah, FrankyG looks like he's from in the bathroom or something. I don't know, man. Are you
no,
in the
it's my wall.
dorms?
No,
Are
no,
you-
no. It's my
No?
room. I can show you around.
No, we're good. Don't move the camera. We had just fixed the camera before. All right, we're
Oh,
good
no.
though. We're good. That's good enough to me. So you guys, being CSU Rams, I believe it was you, Falcon, that was telling me like, hey, there's like issues going on week 3, and I was like nervous because I set up the broadcast and it's kind of like not so easy to do sudden switches or sudden changes or movements. So I was like sweating in my chair. I was all like, no way, this is gonna happen. And on top of that, you guys are doing great too. I mean, what is your record right now?
I mean, we were
3-3?
doing great going into this week, and then the issues occurred, and it kind of screwed up our not only our mental going into the game, because it's just tilting to try to play out of nowhere with ping that's 100 over what you usually play, but also affected our drafting decisions, because there were some people who were like, all right, well, we can't play these super mechanical high skill level champions because it's a lot harder when you suddenly have 100 more ping. So we were 3-1, we're now 3-3, looking to win out, hopefully, and secure ourselves a spot going on. But yeah.
FrankyG, as a player that went in, how did that feel for you guys internally, like just playing the game?
The ping issue, right?
Yeah.
Frustrating, to put it blunt. Irritating when you're trying to do something, but obviously the game is lagging, so you can't. Just feels very disorienting when you're trying to play. Say, for example, if you're trying to play Callista, you're trying to jump this way, but you actually jump this way.
Yeah, pretty much the rubber band effect, I guess, right? Or no, it's just like a delay. Like you're always moving around
Yeah.
the mouse, so
Yeah.
one direction leads to the other. But how is everyone in the same neighborhood when stuff like that can happen to you guys?
So-
We're all around Colorado, and I think it was very specific to Colorado. Or I think it was our ISP. It might be our
Yeah,
ISP.
We all had all the people with the ping issues had the same ISP, and we're within an hour of each other. But it was just weird. Out of nowhere, we get a message saying, hey, I'm warming up 3 hours before a game. I randomly have 200 plus ping, and I'm hating life right now. And then panic sets in, and it starts hitting everyone. So, but you have to deal with it sometimes.
Yeah, that's a really feels bad moment. I know if we were doing LAN, that would never be a problem. Unfortunate, but online, yeah, there could be some issues like that. It's also really hard for us to reschedule things because you would have to go through the owner, like through personal experience. If you're having issues like that, if you're looking to someone to talk to, I'm kind of a person to talk to, but it's the owner's final call at that point. So at that moment, I was like, I can't really fix it right now. Mainly get with a division manager. Division managers will normally get with the owner, and then they will talk it out. But it was still kind of a good game, I guess. I mean, at that point, since we are I mean, what we saw was, let me go ahead and give a little bit of my notes of what I got here. So, starting off with the Mine Division, we're gonna go with a quick recap of Week 3. Defiance was not able to pick up yet another week of wins. They go down another 0-2 in the drain. It was actually one of the hardest weeks for them. They went against Merc Nimbus. They went against Striking Vipers. And then Exertion with an upset with you guys, the CSU Rams. But it only happened because of the issues with internet. So,
No, I don't think so.
or
I
you
don't
don't
want to
think
use it
so?
as an excuse, but it
No, no,
definitely
Yeah.
contributed to it.
not
That's why, yeah. We've
not
come
as
in with the
excuse.
mindset that like it's something that we just had to deal with. Like it's unfortunate and it definitely like made a lot of things more difficult. But the issues why we lost wasn't like 1000% ping was unplayable. So there were
Yeah.
other issues.
I only wrote this down because I didn't write it down like if it came out from your guys' mouth or anything like that. I wrote it down because as a viewer, like even though I'm the broadcaster, I'm part of staff, I am still a big fan of everyone just watching you guys play, and I felt it. I was like, no, like this. I don't even know. I don't even know if it would have been different. I don't even know if it would have been the same. I don't even know. I just know that I definitely did tell about the drafting. The drafting was way different. It was not something that you guys normally would do. So right away it hit me. I was like, I don't know if you guys know who Tea Time is, but he plays like champions that have like sort of delay abilities, like a Rek'Sai or Talia. Because he normally plays 200 ping, and he just plays those kind of cheese champions that just doesn't matter if you have a lot of ping or not. But there aren't but when it's the whole team and affects the whole team, you can see it. You can definitely tell. And I'm just sitting on my seat, like, like with my hands over my head, like I can't believe it. Like this is actually a super important week, and the unfortunate happened. But moving on with that, Merc Nimbus keeping up with their win streak, by the way. First of all, one of the biggest lumps that they had to go through was of the biggest humps in that day was against Phoenix Rebirth, which was a close game. I really loved watching that game. It was probably my favorite game in the whole Mine Division that night. And then, of course, Striking Vipers ending with a 1-1 against Mad City. I mean, losing to Mad City, but winning against Defiance. So, with the Mine Division already done, I'm pretty sure we kept up with week 1s and 2. We just didn't really get to talk about them too much. And the teams, I guess it seemed like kind of like one of those carnival races with the water and the horses, you know? And some teams started to fall off indefinitely. I mean, we didn't get to see it as often. The Mine Division, just only that division, solely that division. You guys honestly have the closest in standings all around from all the teams, except for Defiance, of course.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot. All the teams in the top right now are like all really good. We've known the Merc Nimbus guys for a while now, and when we found out they were in the same division, we were giving each other crap. So we know they're a good team, and then we've heard a lot of good things about Phoenix Rebirth. Then we beat them. We were like, oh my goodness, if we beat Phoenix Rebirth, then we're probably up there as well. But then both Cetra and Mad City are also like picking up a lot of wins. So I've noticed that like in comparison to the other divisions where I can sit there and say with confidence that it not going to say it's like a free path to getting top 2. I will say that like the teams in our division they're equally skilled, and the reason why not equally skilled, but like the reason why it's so close is because it's all a bunch of good teams playing each other rather than just a bunch of random goon squads. So that's my opinion.
And how about you, FrankyG?
I don't know. I still think we're the best, but obviously there are better standings or like better records on some teams. I don't know. If you don't believe you're the best, how can you be,
And I actually got the forms. We did the forms on our Discord since 2 days ago on a Sunday for whoever's listening in, and they're listening in on like the 3rd day or whatever. We did this on the past Sunday, which was the 3rd of May, 2020.
Okay.
The forms here, I mean, it's unbelievable. Like what you guys just mentioned before. You know, not everyone. This is just someone's opinion or fact or whatever. I don't care. I also put in in the description, right? I don't care if it's an opinion. I don't care if it's a fact. I don't care if it's based on logics. Like, just put what's on your mind, and people put that mind division is probably just the best division right now. It's there's just a difference in players. There's just a difference in team. Competitive level. There's nothing like it in any other division. I mean, there's Essentia squads, but Essentias are getting the top one seat fairly, maybe objectively too easy. I mean, both of their organizations have number one seats. Is it too easy for them, or are the teams just not good enough?
Yeah, we were actually talking with like the Merc guys and a couple other teams. We were like, well, did they actually just randomly decide to do the divisions based off of like skill level of the players, like the average player rank or something? Because whenever we tried to look for scrims in other divisions, the rank disparity and the skill disparity between the people that we were trying to scrim and the people we could scrim and the people in our own division. So I definitely have noticed that Mind is pretty stacked. It's unfortunate because, of course, if we were in a different division, it'd be a lot easier for us. And the most important thing is that we're unable to scrim any of these good teams because they're in our division as well. So it hurts us a lot, but that's just me.
No, I feel honestly. And how are the scrims with the team? I mean, who's the shot caller in the team actually? Is it FrankyG here or?
I'd say all 5 of us. I mean, it's an equal like give and take, But I'd say most of the give and take is between DJ Kush and the rest of the team, pretty much. I think it's about equal.
I think I understand more like if it's like the beginning of the game, calling out wards, calling out vision, calling out flash, calling out just some of their abilities where the jungler is. But at the heat of the moment though, who do you guys really depend on?
I mean, a lot of chaos, not gonna lie.
I will say that DJ Kush, our support, has a very distinct voice. And he will actively pursue to make sure that his voice is heard. So he doesn't hesitate as much as anyone else. So he'll be the first person to really say, "All right, let's just go. Let's do this. Let's do this." To the extent that like if you don't follow what he says in the moment, he can get kind of annoyed. But that's. Do you agree, Kate or Frank?
Yeah, his voice is very prevalent in our comms for sure.
Yeah,
I can attest to.
That's another difference too in the Mind division. I've seen that normally every other team out there, they play through the siege, right? They play it slowly, they play through the siege, they don't pressure, they don't push. Normally I like watching teams that just know the composition that they have. They got a diving comp and not a siege comp, they should dive. They got a siege comp, they should siege. They got a defensive comp, they should play defense. They got offensive composition, they should play around the early and mid game. Like win lane, win game, win dragons, win rifts, herald, get that huge lead. And then, instead of pushing one solo lane all the way to the inhibitor, you push all lanes all the way to their tier 2s, keep the wards up, and keep them off of Baron, and it should be GG. But, in Mind Division, you can't do that. Everyone just dives. Like, you guys probably have the most 3-man, 4-man dives in the division so far. And also, just, the macro play too. I don't know. No one ever noticed it, but the macro play is pretty insane as well. It may look like you guys are just gathered up for another fight, but before that, there's been a couple of setup before to even add more pressure to what's going on. So I think everyone needs to pay more attention to that. There's a lot more skill around the map being played in the Mind division for sure. While in the other divisions, there's more like individuals such as like a jungle difference, or actually what I see mostly is the 2v2 jungle and mid. Is that is that synergy still within the CSU? I think you guys are more balanced so far.
I think it's a myth. I think jungle mid's a myth, personally, because I play both jungle and ADC and support. I mean, I can play anything, but I think it's a myth. I think you can play around bot and top more than you can mid, but it's arguable that jungle mid has more pressure. So I think that's where a lot of people tend to put all their emphasis on making sure jungle mid works. But I don't think you need to have it to build a team around. I think you should just have a solid 5.
Yeah. I would say that for us, we really don't play around jungle mid at the moment. We've had our roster's been kind of all over the place the past couple of months, and we're in a position right now where our strengths are not jungle mid. I think right now our strengths are definitely top, and then the occasional bot roam and a team fighting, rather than just trying to run it down their throats with like jungle mid control. But that's what I think for our team. I don't know if you think our strengths are different, Frank, but that's what
I think so. I think we're well balanced, all 5 around, for sure. And then there's off days, obviously, with some players, but it's given, Some people play bad on some days.
Now let's see if we can agree on this one. So someone put down, that this is another person too for the Mind Division. By the way, I think there's been more Mind Division in the forums than any other division right now. Shaping up to be one of the more interesting divisions are, as their numbers are of playoff contention teams. It's Merc Nimbus, Mad City, Phoenix Rebirth, CSU Rams, and Cetra Gaming, and maybe, just maybe, could either be Striking Vipers or Exertion Gaming, but they are not any pushovers either. But only 3 playoff spots, so there's a definite top half here. The top half is definitely Merc and Mad City, but who do you think is gonna take third between the other 4 teams like Cetra, CSU, or which is you guys, and Phoenix Rebirth, who a lot closer, kind of in that third place seat, while Striking Vipers and Exertion has to sort of work a bit more to make that way into it too.
Obvious answer is us, right?
Yeah.
But I like the underdog story, so whoever's 0-6 right now, I'm rooting for you.
Defiance is going to come in, get third spot.
I think what I'm going at here is more like, who is a threat for your third place seat right now?
Ourselves?
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
that's true.
I would say that, so I agree with Frank when he says that like we are the best team, but our issue isn't our peak. Like our peak is easily like the best in Phoenix Academy League. Like I'm going to say this right now, I'm super confident in our team, especially with our track record in like University League of Legends and our past tournaments as well. But our consistency is kind of all over the place, where one day we can take down the best teams in the entire tournament and make it look like we weren't even giving off a sweat. And then the next day we're going to lose to the lowest ranked team at all. So I think that we are probably easily top 3 right now. Our consistency is our issue, and that's the one thing that's going to bite us in the butt. It's not going to be other people outplaying us. It's going to be us outplaying ourselves completely.
Yeah, I absolutely love that answer. That's actually the best answer you could give to yourself, because you should never be afraid of anyone, right? You should only be afraid of the enemy that is within your own comms or within your own drafting, which is basically doubts, right? It's kind of like I used to be a student as well. Really good at reading books, really good at my final exam, and then you doubt yourself, and then you fail at the end. That's all it is. You gotta shake up all the doubts. You gotta go with what you know. You gotta not second guess yourself. The moment you second guess yourself, you're not even fighting the enemy team. You're fighting within yourselves. Or yeah. So that is honestly the best answer, and it's the best answer for that person's question, because he's looking at it as team wise, who's a bigger threat to the other or not. Teams should never be afraid of another team. You should be afraid of the decisions that you're gonna make. Either it's gonna be that split second, or you actually have a little bit of time to think. But take it into the worst case scenario, split-second decisions have to be made, and they have to be made perfect. So, all right. This other one's really troll. Is there gonna be
Oh boy.
Is there gonna be any more dropout teams? They're saying Defiant's gonna drop out. I don't think so. So
I mean,
far,
No, I'm rooting for
Drop
them.
out or drop off?
no, like drop out, like withdraw.
Oh,
I don't think so. No. This is honestly the best division for Defiance to actually learn so much from.
oh yeah, yeah. And dropping out will only. I mean, didn't Defiance FF a game the other day against like Cetra or someone?
I
think,
don't
like, last
remember.
week.
I think it was last week. Oh, it was last week. Yeah, it was last week. You're right.
See, when I saw like there was an FF, I was a little bit worried that it was going to be a team that's just going to, we're losing a lot, so we're going to drop out. But I completely agree that, especially if you are going to go like 0-8, this is the division that's saying, oh, I went 0-8 is not like, that's not a knock on you. That just speaks to how strong the teams are in this division. And by playing every single game, like, yes, you'll get smacked. Yeah, it might be like mentally draining to lose a lot. But every single time you lose, it's like a learning experience. You get the best scrims against us, basically.
Yeah, not just the best scrims, but you also get the best
Yeah.
live game experience too. You have so much pressure in your hands. How do you deal with it, right?
Yeah.
So you're shaking up a lot of nerve and you're shaking up a lot of experience at the same time. So, and also, if they win, like, you have no idea how many people out there are gonna be so happy that if Defiance beat Merc Nimbus, for instance.
Oh, of course.
I would
Yeah.
I would go crazy. I would lose my I would entirely lose my shit. Like, just in my own room, like, what? Can't believe they beat them. Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And yeah, so whoever that person is, I don't think so. Honestly, no. That's not actually the best way to go either. Anyways. Someone's saying,
Right.
okay, this is for you guys. This is
All
funny.
right.
Would CSU stop role swapping and play the game properly?
No, if you're not
So-
playing the game for fun, it's not fun. Like, playing to win is probably the worst thing to do.
So as I was, to go off that, basically, as I was saying, our roster has been all over the place the past couple of months. And we're in a position right now where the team is just, aside from like top lane, every single player on the team spent like the majority of the season playing like a different role, or like they've played a considerable amount of the season playing a different role. So Frank has been playing a lot of played a lot of jungle last season. And was the
And the
jungle
season
main.
before, I played
And the season before.
ADC.
Yeah.
This season,
And
I've been
then-
playing a lot of support, AD, and jungle. A little bit of top, too.
Yeah.
My mid's my weakest.
Ritual, our mid laner, for the longest time was a Kayn main, which is why you saw the Kayn bring out mid. Plez was a support main for the longest time, which is why you see him pulling out the Senna. I think is the best Senna on the team. No offense to Frank. And then DJ Kush has also played a lot of jungle with occasional ADC games. So the role swaps only come out based off of matchups where one of us thinks we're more comfortable on a champion than others. So Frank probably has like the best set on the team. So when we need a set, it's like, well, Frank's our ADC player, but if we're going to pick set into this matchup, the best person to play it is going to be Frank. And then we like swap things around. It's kind of all over the place. I completely agree that it can get a little excessive. But it's a mixture of comfort and who's the best to play that champion on the team at that time.
Yeah, definitely not an improper way to play. It's definitely a proper way to play, just adjusting to the matchups. So with that, I think that concludes with the Mind Division. Obviously, people have really high hopes for this division. Even me personally too, because just like everyone else saying that there is a clear, everyone is really great except for Defiance kind of thing. I guess one guy said Cetra are slept on. I don't think so. I mean, they may have not been broadcasted for maybe this one solo week. but they're definitely not slept on. Everyone recognizes Cetra Gaming. They're top tier as well, with everyone else. So moving on to the body division. So in body division, last week on our recap, we had which was kind of an upset, to be honest. TFT Crownless beating Glaive Umbra. It was slow, but it was still a dominant fashion for them. So huge win for TFT Crownless. They were able to beat the halfway point entirely. But on the reset, not sure how they're gonna do well in the second half of the round robin. Essential Lightning and Final Boss battle for first. This game was yet again another game that was top tier, number one game of the night, and Essential wins just by a close game. And we have something here about that too from someone that filled up the form. But before we do that, Akuma Glaze with a one-sided win over TFT Crownless. That match was absolutely it had to be carefully played, which they did, but it also, that was a huge win for Akuma Glaves because they've been in the middle pack, so they need to pick up wins to diverse themselves from, being just a mid-tier team to be noticed as a top-tier team. So winning over TFT Crownless there was pretty big for them. And then Final Boss ending a swift game, in their last game, which was against Hydra Gaming. Hydra Gaming and Final Boss, I'm not going to lie, that was also a close game in terms of kill and in gold. But Final Boss, I mean, they end their game so quickly. It was just really, really good to watch how they do it. They definitely know the aggression. They definitely know when to keep pushing and never to fall back just yet. So tell me what you guys think on the body division so far. Yeah, on the body division of last week.
I haven't really watched much of the games, but I do know we scrimmed on one of the teams. Michael, which team was it?
I think we were trying to scrim. Wait, did we scrim Final Boss?
I think you guys did.
We did.
Yeah, they were pretty good. Yeah, they were pretty good. It's not so much that the Mind Division's better than the other teams. It's just that I don't know about the other teams much. And it's very evident that I don't know much of the matchups and much of the players. But I do know, based off of one of our scrims, that if Final Boss is first place at the moment, I know that they'll stay for first place at the moment.
Also, if Final Boss is first place of that division, that just reiterates how strong the Mind Division is in comparison to others.
Yeah.
Because we scrim Final Boss. They were a good team. But going out of scrims, we were like, okay, if they're the highest in their division, it's all right. There's definitely a difference in tiers of divisions.
So here, Final Boss are just second under Essential Lightning because they lost to them. But that's not even that far off. They've lost to relatively Essential Lightning, I have no idea what they did. They lost to Imperial Knights. That's sort of sad. I don't know what they did. I don't care if they trolled or did not troll. Imperial Knights beat them, and they came out with a black eye. They're like, okay, we got bruised up by Final Boss, and then these guys just hit us in the face. Now we're gonna need an ice bag for what just happened after that. And this is actually what someone wrote down about that game, because I think this person actually saw the game as well, saying that after just winning a non-disappointment of a thriller of a game, which was Final Boss and Essential Lightning, Essential Lightning have no idea how this happened. This is absolutely just kind of crazy. He put down that they were choking and losing to Imperial Knights, which was a surprise, and that's a surprise to me too. I'm not gonna lie. And this helped out the entire body division just get or feel a lot closer to the playoff rate. So, but regardless of that situation, Essential Lightning and Final Boss are clearly top two still in that division.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. We've been in a lot of tournaments with people from Akuma as well as Essentia, and we have definitely recognized that their teams are decent.
Is
So I went-
Rosenkin playing?
No, he's not on either of those teams. He was
Okay.
on Double Buddies on a different
That's
team.
right.
In a
Okay.
different tournament. But then no, so those guys are like all decent, and I wouldn't be surprised to see like Akuma like solidify themselves as the third seed with like final boss Essentia. But like the moment you have a mid team or a lower team beat a top team, like you said, it really reiterates the fact that like, hey, this is a motivation. Anyone could take the division at that point, because it means that like even if they play like if they have an off day, you can beat them. You don't have to be playing like gods to beat, upper teams.
Yeah, and then to end that whole paragraph that they did, because these are long essay formats, which I'll love to always hear from more people, and especially in just one go. He's also wondering. It'll be really interesting to see who actually rises to the third spot. So, what do you guys think?
In the
Body?
division?
Yeah, body division. Yeah.
The
I was saying
underdog.
Akuma. Frank is going to be like, death cards.
It's always going to be the underdog for me. Underdog stories are the best.
Yeah. Now,
So whoever's the last place at the moment? I believe it's the Wildcards? Or the
the
Imperial
Death Cards.
Knights?
No, the
Death
Imperial
Cards.
Knights is they're 5th at 3-3.
Okay.
TFT Crown is 2-4. Death Cards is 0-6 right now.
Yeah, let's go for the 0-6, guys.
Heck yeah,
0-6
let's
death
go.
cards. Yeah, they had a lot of hype before too, but 0-6. I mean, it's a different 0-6. Like I feel like Defiance is actually better than death cards in the 0-6 right now. Not saying that No, I did say it. Never mind. I did say it. I'm not taking it back. I think Defiance's 0-6 is way better than Death Card 0-6. Because I don't think
Alright,
Hydra
bet.
Gaming competes with Exertion, Striking, or Phoenix. I don't think TFT Crownless competes against Striking, Exertion, and Phoenix. And Imperial Knights, choking and losing. I mean, there's always two sides of the coin there, right? It could be Imperial Knights actually just played super, super well, or Essential Lightning really choked up the Croak.
I mean, I wouldn't call it a
But
choke. Like, it's not like
Oh,
they
yeah.
threw a series or something. Losing one game isn't a choke. If like you have a bad level 1 to level 5, sometimes games are just over. And like that's not a choke. That's just like, all right, you slipped up. So, like I said, like it just means anyone else could beat other teams. I don't think like if Essentia loses a best of 3 or a best of 5 against Imperial, then I'd be like, all right, that's a bit of a choke. But like just losing one game, I wouldn't really call it a straight up choke unless they were up, 20,000 gold and then just threw it away. That's a choke.
Yeah, that's the problem with best of one formats. And I think the LCS, they get a lot of complaints about it, where the LPL and the LCK have best of 3 formats to clearly define who's the better team of the day, or which team like adapted to the meta before the other team in a best of 3 fashion. But in a best of 1, it's sometimes coin flip, sometimes not. But obviously there's some like exceptions with the team like outclassing another team all 5 around. But
And I believe they still do it, right?
yeah, they do.
They still do it. And yeah, it is definitely not what this guy thinks. 100%. I mean, it is the format. The format, only one chance. Everyone tries to make it that one chance right. Everyone plays safe. Everyone plays, just kind of like that fear of we can't lose this game, because you have to play in that kind of fear at the same time, because
Right, yeah, that brings me back to my first point where I said playing to win should never be your goal, but playing to have fun is probably the best way to go at approaching best of ones.
Yeah, it really is.
Especially when it's like a back-to-back where you have one game, then you have a little break, then you have another game. Having a good mental is like the best part of it, or like that's the most important thing for at least our team. Where like if you play to win hardcore and you lose, then like you might feel like really out of it going to the second game. But like playing to win as well as like trying to keep a good mental by like having the more not fun aspect of it.
Yeah, it's not for fun. It's more
yeah.
so like play to have fun while, obviously not playing for fun. Like the term for fun,
Because you have that mindset going in, like it really helps the mental aspect of it as well.
So there's two people that I guess it's kind of like a little bit of a dispute here, saying that body division is similar to mind with their top teams, and the rest is like weaker in that pack. I don't think so. I think I think body division definitely has the clear stroke of who's first, second, and third. I mean everyone's still playing in the middle of the pack, but there's definitely a huge diverse and segregations of individual play and that communication and synergy between the teams. And not just that, if you think they have it, I think what I see right now in the middle pack of body division is that they struggle with it. And when two teams struggle with it, it looks like a good game, but it actually just isn't. It's more like they got to work on that, and it's never too
Yeah.
late to work on it. It never is. All of a sudden, it's just a little click, right? The moment you actually just learn that secret, what every other team does, it's just a simple click of the mind, and that's it. You got it done, and it's down. But so far, I see like the middle pack here in the body division struggle to play that way, and it's you know it's not hard to watch, but you notice it. You're just like, oh damn,
Yeah.
like yeah, they struggle here, and it's rough,
I
But
would say, in the mind division, like I've always had the mindset that you could have messy League of Legends, but you could still have good League of Legends. But you could also have like clean League of Legends that's bad. So in mind division, like we're always doing hard dives, we're always fighting a lot, which is kind of messy at times, but like you see the mechanical outplays, you see amazing like team communication for like when to fight, when to get flanks off, all this other stuff, which is really clean, really nice.
I see.
While in other divisions, like you were saying earlier, Rai, they'll play slowly, they'll play like towards their team comp and all this other stuff where it's like, all right, you have the opportunity to push out your wave and like go for a dragon or something, but they just won't. They'll play like super slow and like nothing will really happen. And when the fights do happen, it's like all jumbled messes. So like even though that's more clean and less messy, I wouldn't call it as good League of Legends as a more coordinated division like Mind. So when teams in the middle pack are like kind of all over the place, that's why like you see a lot of like a hierarchy of teams in other divisions, while in like Mind, I feel like any team can take out another one because of how strong they are. And it's just like consistency is the big thing. So
let's see. Someone said the possible fall of Essential Lightning, maybe to second or third. That's on anyone's lap, to be honest. I mean, any first can be third all of a sudden, or any first could be even fourth all of a sudden. It's the best of one format.
yeah.
I don't think there's anything to go on other than that. And then, someone actually put down a clear top three from their opinion.
Okay.
So they actually put Essential Final Boss and Akuma.
All right.
But they wouldn't be surprised if they saw Glaive Umbra at all. Glaive Umbra, but it'll be pleasantly surprising because of their worst drafts imaginable.
I mean, when it comes to draft, like draft is more than just team comps and like OP picks. It's also about
mind games.
Yeah, mind games, matchups, and like player comfort. So like a draft might look like crap, and it might like actually be kind of crappy when it comes. It doesn't really have like a clear goal to accomplish at the game. But if it's 5 like one tricks playing like they're one trick champs and they can just hard steamroll lanes, or like they're able to find the snowball that they need to like actually get the W, then it's like, yeah, the team comp was kind of a bit of a yikes, but like you could still outplay that.
FrankyG, is there anything you want to add on before we head on to the Soul division to see how they did in week?
Yeah, I want to piggyback onto what Michael said. It's about draft and mind games. I think the whole mind game aspect, like he went on to say about like a really shitty draft, to be blunt. You can, while you're drafting, if you put mind games in and throw off your opponent, like in game, they'll feel, I guess you could disorient them in a way to the point where your team comp doesn't really matter, but they're just super uncomfortable to the picks that you're playing. So say, for example, someone hasn't laned against a Teemo in years, and you pick Teemo into him, and he has no idea what to do. That could essentially help you win the game based off of a pick like Teemo. And I know this is very specific, but you could
us picking
for others.
Kane mid is sketchy as heck because no one ever sees it before. But like we were thinking that first off, we have ping issues, so we don't want to pick something that like is high like out of super like technical. And Ritual was super confident on the pick, as well as he's played it before in the past. So you're like, let's just go with it, because what are the odds that like the enemy mid laner has played up against a Kane mid?
Oh yeah.
Very unlikely.
But obviously, it didn't work for us.
Yeah, it didn't work.
But,
it didn't
but
work. Renekton,
yeah.
OP.
Renekton is a strong champion into other melees. That's for damn sure.
Especially the squishy ones.
Yeah.
Wrong runes too. But
no way.
You live and you learn. Yeah,
we didn't even
took
know
Dark
that.
Harvest.
Now everyone's gonna talk about that. You're gonna go back to the VOD and look at what you did.
Well, so they pulled a CSU against us. They put in their sub mid laner was an ADC player, so we were like, so what are they gonna do mid lane? So they put their top laner mid. They put their mid laner on ADC and their ADC like top lane, I think.
No, they put their substitute mid laner on ADC, and then they put their ADC on mid Renekton. And that threw us off like a mind game, just mind games. Like
we assumed that it was going to be like a Rumble. I think they had Rumble Renekton.
Yeah, they had
like,
Rumble top.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be like a Rumble mid and not Renekton. So the runes were all out of whack. And at that point, it was like, how much do we want to try like out macroing just to get the perfect matchup when we're already either dealing with ping issues and like the team comp being completely whack, all that other stuff. So,
and I know this is like completely out of tangent to the division we're supposed to be talking about, but I do want to note that with the ping issue, we went with the Kane, and obviously the Kane, but they did outdraft us that game, so it wasn't the sole reason we lost that game.
Yeah. That the piggyback was more on the like this drafting matter and etc. So it was
drafting matters. Yeah. It
For
definitely does matter. Bad teams just pick a freaking. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse.
Like it's just.
If bad teams could just pick like an easy like run at them wombo combo team comp, like that's the easiest way to pick up wins.
Wukong, Orianna, something like that.
Jarvan, Orianna, like Yasuo, screw it. Just throw all the wombo combo into one giant bin. It's the freest thing you could possibly do. But like if you're playing up against better teams that can play against it, like play a really good 1-3-1, you're gonna get some L's. But like if you really need a win and you're not really confident as a team, just pick that. Super easy.
Yeah, and fun too, right? Because y'all just go in.
Yeah, so fun.
Either it works or it doesn't. No mouth fight though. The old Smash Bros video. Yeah. Oh man. It's the best. It's such a classic. I mean,
it's never been seen before in the history of Dota.
And by the way, there has been a lot of Wukong. A lot more than usual.
Yeah, he's super strong. That's for sure.
Yeah, we totally overlooked the Wukong a couple of times, and where we totally forgot that champion existed until it was picked, or we noticed other people playing it, and we're like, oh crap, that thing is still viable. So I think it was our game against. Merc.
It was a scrim.
No, we played Merc and they picked Wukong.
Yeah, they
remember?
They did. Yeah.
Oh, that game was that was the game I was thinking of. It was like, okay, yeah, Wukong's the thing. We forgot about that.
Yeah, Wukong's 100% pick ban. If someone lets it through, they're trolling. I think.
Yeah. We played so many positions. It's stupid.
It also beats the Camille if you use them properly. We've seen that firsthand. It's kind of insane. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
They played Wukong Gragas. Gosh dang it.
No, it was That game was definitely I'm chopping our
Top
game against
gap.
Merc. No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say top gap. No. It was 100% like miscommunication in draft where we prepped knowing that they do go Ornn mid, and then we locked in the set, and then we tunneled hard on like, oh, if it's going to be an Ornn top lane, we'll grab Camille into it, even though we knew that Ornn mid was a possibility. And then we also tunneled on like, oh, we'll just put Frank on the set because he can play set and we could just flex something else top lane. And then they picked Wukong and Gragas, and we are like, all right, it's a Wukong mid. And it wasn't until like the last second, we were like, ah, crap, it's probably a Wukong top lane. So we picked like Corki into Ornn, which was like whack. We thought it was going to be like a Wukong mid, Ornn top lane. And then our draft is all over the place. So
Corki did do okay into Ornn.
Yeah, it was okay.
It's a free lane, but like, again, the whole aspect of draft comes up where teams could just outdraft someone and win from the get-go. But that's not to say that we played terribly. I know I fucked up early level 1. I burned my flash, and then that led to our bot lane losing. Top lane lost to Wukong, acceptable. And then we just couldn't find the windows to aggress on people or on them. So with our team comp, we had to play from behind. But luckily we had Corki, but that wasn't enough, and they ultimately ended the game before we could scale.
Okay. So
should probably move on to the division now.
Yeah, we should move on. Yeah,
that would be a good one. I'll try to timestamp this one as an unrelated topics to the bottom division. Good. That's okay. I actually love just talking. Let's just get through all the weeks and their divisions first, and then
all right, yeah,
and then we'll move on to some unrelated stuff, which is like pretty cool. But Soul Division, man, Soul Division, I think I would call it the most recognizable division. I mean, there's TFT, there's Essentia, there's Recon, and I guess whoever knows Bellfire knows Bellfire, and then Rated R. It's very, very much like kind of like the what do you call it? The Sandlot, I guess, right? Like
you walk by and then you see a random team name in the division. You're like, oh, I recognize that. Like I've heard of Recon. Yeah. Celebrity division.
Yeah, celebrity division for sure. They're still strong, but I feel like it's more of a celebrity division here. So we got Essentia Thunder defeating against Ignitus and leaving the week with a 6-0 record, undisputed. That was the biggest game too. Ignitus were also at the same 5-0, and Ignitus really had to win against Thunder to just win the #1 spot. But Essentia Thunder once again just defeats the almost the last and final team. But defeating Ignitus there, I mean, there's really no one else in comparison. Ignitus has done so well, but right now everyone else is growing. If Essentia Thunder chokes up like like their sister team Lightning, then they could be in for a couple of losses. But we'll see how they go. TFT Land and Bellfire, they fight for. It's a major win, but it does not push them any further up, regardless. I don't think so. So, good on you for Bellfire, but I don't think that does too much.
It's the beginning of the underdog story, the one that Frank was talking about. Bellfire getting their first W.
Yeah.
They're gonna be. They're 2 wins out of third place technically.
Oh no, sorry,
so.
It was TFT. Sorry. I messed it up. Yeah, TFT.
Dang it.
I know. I even wrote it down here, and I wrote down my mess up. I could have switched it, but yes, it still works vice versa. Anyways, that talk. It is the beginning of the underdog story. It's just, I think like the moment they lose, it's kind of like also the end. So,
yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard though. This one definitely has the 5-pack team, and the 3 are struggling. So, well, there's no 3 anymore. RDS has left, which was Rising Dawn Sapphire. We got the FF team in the Soul Division, which they actually did really good. They were definitely top 6 team, but no clue what happened there, and I probably won't go there. I'll that's up to them. But top 5 teams still looks very far apart from these 2 teams, anyways. From what I see.
What are the standings at the moment? Like who's first, second, third, fourth,
Oh,
fifth?
I have it up right now, Frank. So Ascension Thunder's
6-0.
undefeated.
Yeah.
It's 6-0, 4-2, 3-3, 3-3, 3-3, 3-3, and then 2-1-5 teams.
Yeah.
So it's close.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Like anyone
the 1-5s could get up
like
there.
I see this and I say like there's no way Essentia doesn't get out at this point, because if they're able to beat every other team and they're like all middle of the pack, like they also have like a 2-game lead on Akuma Katanas right now, and that's like a very good like pad when it's just like you already finished the first round of Robin basically. You're gonna go into the second one with a good lead, and you've already proved that you're able to beat every other team like already. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if Essentia gets out like relatively easily, and then this middle of the pack is just going to be who knows what. There's going to be like tiebreaker after tiebreaker probably at this point.
Yeah, and it's all really separated. It's all really apart here on the forums too, which I will get to in a bit. Recon 5 Yellow. This is one of their best games that they could ever show us in the view of the audience. Which was against Bellfire. So they played that game really, really clean. Good on you from them. Hopefully Recon can keep going that route, which really looks good on them. Akuma Katanas. They came out big against Ignitus Esports, but at the same time, this is a personal feeling for me. I just felt like they didn't look like themselves when they were going against Akuma Katanas. And that may have been done losing to Ascension Thunder. They played a lot of the solo game. They play a lot of not grouping up and going for the win. It was really like, even as someone that really, really believed in Ignitus and Ascension Thunder, like just watching them lose in that kind of way. Definitely there's gonna be like a lot of judgments. Are they even still a good team? They still are. It's just, I guess it just wasn't their day. Maybe their only one win that they cared about was against Ascension Thunder at that night, and I know how that feels. And I felt like, I don't know. I think I was watching this game, and like I was just like damn, like I actually just felt that. I felt that loss for Ignitus as much as they felt it for themselves. It was not a good feeling. It wasn't. It was like, I don't know. It was just so strange to me for them losing to Akuma Katanas, because they're definitely top 2 or number 1 team in this division too.
I mean, that goes back to what we were talking about earlier, where it's all about like mental. Where you look at the Ignitus versus Ascension Thunder game, it went to like 35 minutes, and the game was like relatively even for the most part, except like so of course Ascension wins. So if you're able to take the number 1 team, yeah, if you're able to take the number 1 team to like mid 30s and to like maybe late 30s, early 40s, that proves like, hey, you have the opportunity to like actually win. But if you lose that game, it's just like mentally exhausting, mentally draining, and then you're like, ah, crap, we could have won that game. And then having only an hour to like take a breather and immediately go on to the next game is kind of hard sometimes, especially when you lose a game like this. So I wouldn't be surprised if like them not looking the way they usually do can be chalked up to mental 100%.
So now we move on to what people thought as well. So what are the steps needed to reach that 3rd place spot for playoffs? I think 3rd place is kind of locked. No, because right now, I want to say Akuma Katanas get 3rd. I think it's going to be Recon 5, to be honest.
Okay.
So what do teams have to do to reach that 3rd place spot? They have to beat Recon 5. That's all they have to do. They have to beat Recon 5 and then stay positive on the win. If you don't beat Recon 5 and stay positive on the win, you're not going to get the 3rd place spot. Because they have
if a team, if a team beats the 1st place team, like say for example the 1-5, the 2-1-5 teams, if they take a game off the top seed and then go on to win the next all the rest of the games in the round robin, I think they have a chance of getting 3rd place. But I think the ones that are 3-3 in the middle at the moment, they probably have the highest chance of getting 3rd. But I can't give any specifics on the teams. But I'm always rooting for the underdog. So
I mean,
yeah.
I was gonna say that the way you get 3rd is just consistency. That and really getting down like your first. If you have like spam like the first 15 minutes of each game, and you're able to get like a solid lead and just practice your first 15 minutes, that will get you a massive lead, and like will probably win most games. Because like if you can just grind out and just get a massive like early game lead, a lot of teams aren't able to really like deal with playing from behind. So if I think it's 100% consistency and 100% being able to get early game leads. So whatever team is able to basically come out of the gate swinging the most often will probably take the third spot.
Yeah, the ones that are swinging right now are definitely Rated R Esports. So it's either Rated R or Recon 5 because they're the ones that beat Akuma Katanas. Akuma Katanas, they may have the same scores as third place, but they got to beat Rated R and Recon 5 in order to take that spot officially because what do you call it? The tiebreaker stuff? No, it's not called tiebreaker. Oh my gosh, it's a word. It's a word I don't know. I forgot it. We always said it last split as well. The head-to-head. You gotta
Okay.
win the head-to-head. You know,
Yeah.
like Akuma Katanas, they have a really good record, but they did not beat Recon 5. They did not beat Rated R. So if they start getting a good record and they match with the Akuma Katanas, they will not get that third place spot because of the head-to-head. So that's what people need to do in the middle of the pack right now is they need to start beating their head-to-heads, or which is going to matter the most on their second round of the round robin.
I would say with confidence that probably Rated R has the highest chance for getting the third spot, specifically because you were saying the FF team. I mean, they're looking relatively decent right now.
No, they're an actual FF team.
Oh, they're actual an FF team.
But they were a decent team regardless.
Okay, I thought they were like okay.
They were
a decent team
Sapphire.
Okay, yeah. But either way, Rated R and Recon then both of them have an opportunity because the two of them still so Recon has yet to play FF for the first round robin, and Rated R has yet to play Balefire, which means the two of them are both 3-3, and there's a likelihood that they're both going to get their fourth win relatively easily this weekend.
Yeah.
While like Ignitus still has to play TFT. Central Thunder is playing Akuma, which is going to be spicy as well. So like if Akuma drops to Essentia Thunder and Rated R and Recon 5 both get their free W's, then that's a three-way tie for second at that point, going into finishing up with the first weekend or the first round robin.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they gotta. And our tiebreakers are a lot easier this time around too because of the conference. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in the playoffs run. So tiebreakers are a lot easier, but it could still happen in this round. But if it doesn't go the way that you just mentioned it, because that's honestly the only way to do it. Then obviously you'll always end in a good record, but you won't get the spot, which is unfortunate. You rank high, but you don't cross the road. Very unfortunate. That it can happen. This one I think this one's biased. The Essentia Thunder Show. I'm gonna skip that one. I think that one's biased. I think TFT is gonna make the comeback run, so be prepared for it. Okay, that one also sounds biased, but there's actually an argument here. So,
okay.
Not the whole it's Essentia Show. Okay, they're actually doing really good, so there's no argument there. So, that's why we're skipping that one. TFT, there's an argument here. I think what this person did was just looked at the standing. It's 3-3 on the scoreboard. They only won 2 games legitimately. The other game is the forfeit team that are no longer with us. They withdrew from the tournament, and they didn't really they didn't score up officially a 2-0. 2-0s are the perfect runs for any teams by the week. But they did score 2-0, but it will be the same for like anyone else that goes an FF team and then win their other game. So with one FF team there, like it may look like TFT spiraling, but everyone spirals at the same rate when they have a forfeit game on their day of the week. So TFT, yeah, they look good, but the comeback run, it's still really hard for them because it goes back to how to get the third place spot. They gotta break the head-to-heads. So the moment they lose to like Recon 5, Rated R, or Akuma, either one of them, if they lose to one of them, they don't have to win against Ascension Thunder. They don't have to win against Ignitus. They just have to beat Rated R, Recon 5, and Akuma to break the head-to-head and actually be able to place in that third place spot.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, that's the thing that when it comes down to everyone being so closely packed, is that like getting a win is massive. Basically, as long as it's not a win against like the bottom two teams, if you get a win from anyone else, it's like, okay, congratulations, your likelihood of making it in just increased by like 3 times. So I'm not gonna say it's like win out necessarily, but like, yeah, they need to win. Simple as that.
How about you, FrankyG? Did you get to watch Soul Division at least, or some, or maybe you
No,
know
I
some of these
didn't.
teams?
I wish I did. Like, I feel kind of
Okay.
lost, but I'm following along. The middle of the pack. Some of them
But
obviously
as a
have the
player,
FF wins.
as a player, you know, part of a team, like, what's like one of the most important things to even make a comeback run?
Just feeling good, you know, confidence. It's the big part. I think don't worry too much about the standings and just play your best, play as a team, have trust within each other, you know?
Is it actually more comfortable to scrim a lot more at this point, or to scrim a lot less, actually?
I think to a certain extent, like if you have other stuff to do in your life, like say example, for us, we have schoolwork and some people have jobs. Obviously put that first. That's your first step. Second step, don't stress too much about wins. And then third step is play your best, play your game, work as a team. That's probably their best bet.
This other person said only has one good team. That's Ignitus Esports, guys.
Wait, there's only one good team and it's Ignitus?
No, I know who they're talking about, so I'm being like really contradicting to that one, and
okay.
I'm telling them or that person it's
the best team is FF. Simple as that.
Yeah, because they're giving everyone the free win.
Hey, they have the lowest average game time.
Oh yeah.
All I'm gonna say.
They do.
True.
Pretty good division so far. 3 or 4 way tied for third. Should be really hype. That's not gonna happen. No. There's that rock paper scissors thing going on, and there's definitely one that is like rock cemented with a scissor in between, you know? that just beats out, you know, paper and scissors or whatever. I don't know how I just phrased that one, but if it makes sense, it makes sense. There's actually
it's classic rock paper scissors, and then Ascension Thunder's the stick of dynamite.
Yeah, exactly. Or what do you call it? Spock or something. Or
oh yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
where someone just says something else ridiculous that just trumps all 3. So
yeah.
there's actually a team like that trumps all 3. And you know, it's actually just a straightforward thing right now for that there's possibly not going to be able to be a tie. You know, the moment they lose is the moment the run's over, and not the run's over, but they could still play spoiler. Like you could actually, you know, at that point, if you lose to the middle of the pack, you're gonna have to tear down the top 2 teams to bring them lower into the standings, which other teams can do that themselves too, right? You bring them off their tier, their high chairs, and then you make room for another third place spot. But other than that, it's actually really, really hard. It's a tough clinch right now. Has the best team in the league. You know, this will hurt Thunder if they can't keep improving. Oh, wait, who the heck are they talking about? As the best team in the league, after them, there is a cliff of quality that will hurt Thunder if they can't keep improving. Ooh.
So they're saying that like Thunder's better than everyone else, but if they don't improve, they're gonna start losing.
Is it? Does this
but
mean?
If they're the best, why did they need to improve?
I mean, improving is always better than just staying stagnant. And we've already seen that like teams in the middle of the pack are able to take Thunder to like longer games. So like it's understandable. Thunder can be exploited in the early game, and if you play it well, you can beat Thunder. They're not like undefeatable.
Oh, I see what's going on here.
But yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree to a certain extent that like if they don't improve, I can see them dropping like 1 to 2 games and like dropping from first to like second or something. But I don't think that like they could stay stagnant and still get top 3.
I think what this person is saying is that sure they may be the best team, but if they don't keep improving, there's like a really high chance they'll lose to the other divisions.
Other division, other teams.
Teams in the division or in playoffs?
like in playoffs, you know, like when we do cross divisional, there's a chance for them to just fall off somewhere.
If there's okay, I'm gonna say this right now. If there's not a Mind Division team in the finals, it's rigged. If not 2 Mind Division teams in the finals.
Yeah. Okay. But I guess what this person's saying is because the only people that could really shut down Ascension Thunder in the playoffs run would be Sunday Division, which is life. So I'm guessing they're saying that, you know, I guess even though they have the best team, which is Thunder, it looks like they're actually having it easy. They got to find a way to just keep improving, because if they don't, then you know, they're gonna feel like a second or third seed after like or during the playoffs run. You know, because when we go through our rounds, there'll be like second and third seeds and even first potentially going against them. And right now, maybe personally to this guy, it's either they don't feel like a first seed, so that means Thunder to this person specifically either feels like this team feels more like a second or third in other divisions and much less than a first. So um they may win this division for themselves, but how are they going to face up with playoffs? So that's actually a really long way to think about it right now, because we are in week 3, but it is very interesting, and I will actually keep note of this. This could be an oracle, you know. This could be the one that just predicts the rise and fall of Ascension Thunder. But so far they've been really clean, so I'm not sure. Like you just said, Falcon. Like if they're already really that good, do they really need to keep improving? Well, of course, FrankyG has a mentality of improvements. There's always room for that, you know. I mean, this is a Plat to Diamond League, so there's always room to get to like Masters and etc.
Yeah, no, there are definitely players that I know that I've talked to that are like, hey, we want to get Masters, but you can't because you're in this Diamond or Plat to Diamond League. So if you get Masters, you're unable to play. So.
Wait, can you hit promos, or do you have to be below 100?
It's below or 100 or below. So I think if you hit 100, technically you're good.
Yeah.
As long as you don't promote into Masters.
So what if you're a part of the league for a set amount of time? Are you allowed to rank up while you're in the league?
You can, but you would have to be waived in. You have to be waived in by the owner. Yeah, because the owner right now has a mindset of actually increasing the cap.
Okay.
Which we kind of all do. We've all been thinking about it. The only reason why we haven't done it or anything like that is because consistency, right? We don't want to just slap it on everyone right now.
Yeah.
Well,
you could make exceptions, I think.
Throw
like if they're part of the league for a bit.
If a full Masters team walks into Life Division, you're not going to see anything but an absolute slaughterfest. Yeah, it's going to be Anakin killing all the children when like he just kills all the infants in Star Wars.
Yeah, Anakin Skywalker and the Order.
That's a Masters team in the Life Division. Simple as that.
Yeah.
No offense to anyone in the Life Division. We're gonna get to you soon enough.
Our sister team is there.
Our sister.
Yeah. Sister team.
We'll get with that. I mean, I'm disappointed in them, and I want an earful from you guys about that.
I don't know what they're doing now.
Okay, so what was? Oh my gosh, this is actually talking about Ignite Esports. This person absolutely thinks the way I was thinking around that game or around that time. It was. I mean, what? Wait, what? Okay, his first doesn't make sense. Okay, interesting was seeing the fall of Ignite Esports and the rise of Akuma Katanas. While there was a lot of hype in this division for the freshman teams to make a statement, it seems like the veteran prowess of Ascension Thunder and Akuma Katanas will solidify them at the top 2. However, with the 4 teams 3-3, the last playoff spot is going to be interesting. What is particularly concerning for this division is the fact that Ascension Thunder beat out a supposedly top team Ignitis with the coach subbing in at ADC. This shows the weakness of other teams in the division and is concerning moving forward. So, yeah, it really was interesting to watch the Ignitis fall after the after Ascensia Thunder game, and I'm not sure about the Rise. The Rise is more like on an even playing field. The mentality of these two teams were not the same when they played. So a Rise, maybe not. I think it's more like beating a dead horse at that moment. From what it felt like. You get me? It's kind of like, if you beat a dead horse, are you really better if the horse was alive? Like,
I mean,
I
yeah,
don't
you
know.
were talking. Hey, all I'm gonna say is that you were talking up Recon 5 Yellow's amazing like victory against Balefire, but like Balefire isn't looking very good themselves. So like, if you were beating a dead horse and you looked good doing it, does it really mean that you're an amazing team, or are you just beating a dead horse? So
Okay, everyone's beating dead horses here. So that's Soul Division. That's why that guy said that, you know what, I don't think it's the best division from our previous guy that was talking about it. But here, yeah, Ignitus, um, I don't know. I still feel for it. It's been days after I just saw Ignitus lose to Akuma Katanas. I believe I even had my prediction vote on them, and it didn't come true because, it just didn't feel the same when they played. Like, Pirate still played the same way, by the way. Pirate is a monster in Ignitus. I think he's honestly the best top laner right now. I don't know. I'm not gonna sleep on that. Pirate is definitely best top laner, and he normally plays as a team. But in that game, you could tell he was just playing to, I don't know, ease off
He's
some
playing
stress.
his own game.
Yeah, his own game. Yeah, to try to ease off some stress that was going on. Ooh. Okay. Lots of forfeits. All right. The one forfeit team, or was there more? I feel like there's more.
in
No,
life, are we gonna move on to or soul or life?
in Soul.
Okay, soul. Okay.
Was there a lot of forfeits? I don't think there was that many. I think there was only like 3. But with the FF team, I guess that counts as last
4 or
8.
2. Yeah,
Everything's more
8.
exciting when you have an FF
Yeah.
team.
Last 8 for yeah, it is. Man, this still talks about Akuma, Essentia, and R5. But they're saying that rated R looks more consistent though. So this person absolutely thinks that rated R just might be the third seed
I mean,
because of their consistency.
everything is like, well, yeah, you could be 3-3, but like it's all about if you're consistent, then you're gonna win out, or you're gonna be able to like make top 3 without much like worry. Like honestly, people can make arguments about any of the 3-3 teams, or even the 4-2 team of Katanas. Like you can make an argument for any of those teams getting second, like
Or first, even first.
or first. Yeah, I mean, if a Thunder does drop off, so like this, I think the Soul division is definitely the division that's most likely to like have a mix up in the standings where anyone has. It's been shown that anyone could beat anyone. So like you can make it. You could say, "Oh, insert name here is going to get like top 3," and I'll be like, "Yeah, I could see it." Like, I know some people on Ignitus Esports might be like, "Wow, you're saying that like TFT is going to make top 3 hot, like that's bogus because they've played them or something." But
Yeah.
like, I mean, from an outsider's perspective, it's like any of these teams have shown that like they can beat the other teams. So like, it's all a coin toss at this point. All about consistency. Like if you are inconsistent, like you're able to like get 3-3 and like look pretty decent, but like if you fall off and you like lose against the teams you beat already in the second half, then you don't deserve to get top 3. So it's definitely a coin flip in my opinion.
You know what? That cleared my mind a lot more. What this person's saying with what you just said, Falcon. Akuma and rated R. Rated R is definitely way more consistent than Akuma, and since rated R absolutely have the head-to-head against Akuma, that's a big threat to Akuma. Like right now for Akuma to absolutely not be afraid of Rated R being consistent right now in their like wins, because Akuma is either gonna go 0-2 or 1-1. I don't think they have gotten 2-0s. I'm like trying to see what week they've actually gotten like a 2-0 week, and I feel like they just haven't been able to do that. They've only gotten like 1-1, and Recon and Rated R have been getting like 2-0s a couple of times and 1-1s. Like they have never dropped a 0-2 so far for Rated R.
If
So
Rated R 2-0s this week, they're top 2
yeah,
because they solidify themselves over katanas. They get a massive lead over everyone else, and they're playing Balefire, so it should be free W.
yeah.
So, like, I agree. I agree.
So Akuma Katanas, as much as they did good this past week, Rated R is their number one threat because of the head-to-head. And so is Recon 5, but Recon 5, um they're the growing factor. They're kind of like the you know, they're the seed that's still in the soil and it's still growing, and no one's gonna notice it until they finally become a tree, and then you guys gonna walk around like, wait, when did this tree get here, you know? And and it's Recon 5 with the logo and everything on it, you know? It's all like, wait a minute, like who gave this tree a jersey too, you know? But yeah, like so it is very disappointing to see forfeits. I don't want to see forfeits either, but it kind of makes things a little bit easier, awkward, and more progressive, I guess, right? Some teams that need a win will get a win. So it's good to get one regardless of the situation. But yeah, I mean, the Akuma start as well, it did not go so good after week 1. So, is it gonna change up? It definitely can, because we're already gonna head out into the well, for this week. This is the last week for the first half of the first round robin, and then the second half of the night will be starting of the beginning of the second round robin. So we'll see how that goes. Now, let's go ahead and go on to the live division. This division sparked up surprises. I absolutely love it. No one was showing up to watch live division because they're like, it's the worst division. I don't think so. I think it's so. Um,
It's the life division because
Brings
it's a group
life.
of life. It's a group of life because it's free as heck.
yeah. And
Which team is GBC? What is their name?
Goth
GBC.
Boy Click.
Goth Boy Click. Oh, I know their jungler. He's pretty decent. I
He
know
is.
of him. Yeah. I think he stole Baron against F5 in their first match.
And they
I remember
won
watching
because
that.
of it. They won
Yeah, that was
because of it.
crazy.
Oh no.
That's the one highlight I did see.
Sorry, they lost. But the thing
Oh,
is that they almost turned the game because of that. Like, or did they lose? I'm gonna have to look back. Hold on.
I
You
think
may
they were
have
only
been right.
down 3K by like 30 minutes when they were down almost 10K by 20.
Going back. Goth
It might
Boy.
have been just 5K though. I don't know.
Gosh dang it, dude. It was it was Final 5, and yes, you're right. They weren't even down that much because Final 5 threw a couple of times. They threw Dragon Fights about maybe 2 times, and then when they forced the Baron, like a 20-minute Baron, which it was actually a good force. I mean, they did not struggle getting that Baron down 20 minutes in. Like, come on. Why wouldn't you start a Baron if you're not struggling with it, right? Um it's a gutsy move, really ballsy move, and they did it anyways. And if they didn't respond to it, which they absolutely didn't, you could tell no one wanted to go in, but they kind of just put the aviator helmet on with the goggles. They saluted the jungler from Goth Boy Click, and they said, "Good luck, trooper. You know, you're diving in." And it's either you take this Baron and don't come back, or you're not coming back at all, right? And he still doesn't come back at all. It was a one man lone wolf mission. He jumps in, stole the Baron. Everyone was super happy. They still lost it all in the end, anyways.
It's unfortunate.
I feel
but
like that sometimes.
it was still a beautiful moment. It was still a beautiful moment. It brought a tear to my eye, and to everyone as well. They're like, "What the hell is going on?" Like, man, this guy was insane. But you know, and it was smooth from Final Five. They just made a couple of major mistakes, losing Baron and a couple of dragon fights that they shouldn't have fought. The other teams, how they did on the on stream was Wolfpack suffering another 0-2 loss. They lost, and it was actually, it's not Wolfpack's fault. This is their time to sort of improve and to start going against the middle of the pack to see where they actually land in. Now, since it's 3 weeks in, 3 weeks in, and they're going against Element 5 in Final Boss. Like, I did not predict them winning. Not because I think they suck or anything, but because that's a hard schedule to win on. Like, if you're looking for a comeback, you're not trying to go that hard yet, right? You kind of want to get a momentum first. And
Yep.
yeah, Final Boss and Element 5, they were already on a winning momentum with their winning streaks, and yeah.
So
Hopefully,
Frank,
yeah.
I was just gonna say Wolfpack is Truffles' team.
Yes,
Oh,
Truffles.
yeah, I
Yeah.
do not like their top laner. Yeah,
Well,
I
why?
played a solo queue game with them, and he's not very good. And I'm standing by it. I don't think he's very good, but I think Truffles is very good.
No,
So-
yeah. We've scrimmed against Wolfpack before. We've known Truffles for a while.
He's
But,
in Colorado, actually.
Mac
He's
Daddy?
in Air Force.
Yeah.
Truffles. The
Truffles.
jungler.
Truffles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes
But
to
no-
Colorado Air Force Academy, and we know him pretty well.
Yeah.
Pretty
But
cool.
I don't think his team is necessarily that good around
See,
him.
yeah, Frank
I have strong opinions.
has vocalized his opinions about Wolfpack as a team minus Truffles.
Okay.
Both to the players themselves and to us and to Truffles. So we'll say that right now. That CSU Green and Wolfpack being on the bottom of the standings is stuff that we're not really too surprised about.
It's not surprising in the least.
Yeah, Wolfpack Esports, that is not the roster they came in last split. And being at the bottom, I guess this just tells us that last split roster with Wolfpack Esports was definitely either better or not a big surprise that the teams that came in are just absolutely stronger and more competitive right now. CSU Green, though, I mean, I've seen them. I'm not throwing shade at you guys. I know you guys don't manage it.
Oh,
Or-
we don't. Yeah, we don't.
Or
don't
Dr.
have any correlation.
Laserbeam. I'm not throwing shade at him, but they have a lot of work to do. And
Yeah.
they're not bad players. You can tell they just don't have the synergy, like, or the communication, or the I guess the tidiness, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just not there. They need to work on it. I'm pretty sure. The roster looks like more like a group of friends. So that means, it won't change as often. So that means they could get better with what they got.
See, when they're a green or they're CSU Green, which is our B team. But when you are the B team, then your players are kind of like ripe for the picking if they become good enough.
It's a
So, like,
developmental
okay.
team.
Yeah. So like Plez, for example, our jungler was the B team support for the longest time. And then our ADC that we've had for like the entirety of like this semester prior to like the last month or so was like the B team ADC. And then like Frank also played a little bit of time on the B team as the jungler. So like we took their players basically.
Oh no.
So they're playing with an ADC or a new ADC, Laserbeam back at support. Then the jungle position, they had a jungler who wasn't able to play for like the past like 2 or 3 tournaments because of like schooling stuff. So like then that was a revolving door. So their roster's kind of all over the place. I think that they're like you were saying, they're like decent players and they're all, real close friends, but they need to like get the grind on to like really get the team cohesion down. So
It's hard because their roster switches almost every month.
yeah,
With people leaving,
Wow.
people promoting, etc.
especially with the T Brady situation where they brought in T Brady, and then they were about to go on to a stream match, someone found out that T Brady was also on
was
a different
me.
roster. I didn't know this
Me.
either.
I was
Yeah,
like,
all of a sudden was
wait a
like,
minute.
yeah,
It was
we didn't know this, and apparently T Brady was like, oh yeah, I just thought it was because I'm a substitute. Like it doesn't matter. And we're like, what the heck, dude? So he's off the team now. We had a FF that match. So it's like it's a mixture of just the roster not being super down right now. Yeah, a little bit of like team cohesion issues, but like when you have to start FFing games as well, like that's also like really that hurts a lot because like we were saying, every single win matters. And just losing because of an FF, even if it's like against the best team, like that's an opportunity to grow as a team. It's an opportunity to possibly take the W off of like the best team, and like go up in the standings. So it's just unfortunate.
Are you guys lurking the roster and forfeit doc right now?
No, I don't have access to anything.
I've been looking at it a lot because like I just use it to whenever we have a match, like the morning of, I go through the roster doc and just like get all the information, just like write up a giant like a paper or something about each team. So I've looked at it a lot. But how many games did they FF? Did they FF both of them?
They had FF both, yeah, because Brady was.
I'm just surprised that like there's always like consistent people always looking at the rosters right now, always scouting, always improving. But yeah, CSU Green, I did not know about that. Underdogs completely. But you know what?
Yeah, let's go.
For them, I guess with always consistently changing players in and out, especially if it's like a monthly kind of thing, I guess the only thing I could say for them is develop a system that works for even newcomers. That's it.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do, Michael, as a coordinator.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I mean, like, so like, Laser Beam was like the long term coach. Like he was the coach for all of last semester, all this semester for that team.
Okay.
And he only has to slide into support like if necessary, and then out of the nowhere, like, hey, by the way, we're poaching your support, so they need a new support player, so he has to slide on in. So now he's playing full time as a player and as the coach, and like the coordinator to a certain extent. So like it's kind of all over the place. I mean, everything will be cleared up once the next semester starts. So in fall, when we host drafts again,
new incoming freshmen,
incoming players, all that stuff to like solidify confusion.
What happened in this game, by the way, which I wrote down my notes here, is that CSU Green came up big against Gothboy Click off stream.
I didn't see that game.
It was off stream.
Was that an actual game? Or was it a forfeit? Let me click on this.
Well, they forfeited last week, but this week they played.
It was an actual game, and they went 24-7. What the heck just happened?
Yep, I think the new jungler they picked up is pretty good. Beatsnet? I don't know how to say it.
They went against Daily Peach.
Green they're confusing at times. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest. I think their bot lane is like the weakest link on the team. Yeah. But like all the other players they have are like really strong at like what they do. So game into the top lane, like.
No, it's Obtuse Goose. He changed.
No. Oh, he changed to Obtuse Goose.
Obtuse Goose, yeah.
From Gay Man. Oh my goodness.
From Happy Man to Goose Man.
Yeah, no. So like if you put him on his champions, like you're going to get a consistent, like solid top laner. But it's all about like some days they'll pop off. Most days it's like, okay, you're expecting the same stuff out of green team. So
right, yeah, and it's developmental in that regard, where you just kind of like they're put into leagues that might be too hard for them, but at the same time, it's just good experience for some players that have like little to no experience, or they're freshmen coming into college, and you just kind of open them up to experiences. Because at the same time, we are a college and we are a university, and we have to represent well. So
and have a balance too.
Yeah, and you have to develop people and the individuals who are in it. So now, that's what Michael's trying to do.
I do have a question for you, Ray. Do you think that Life Division is the weakest division?
I know who's throwing that shade, and I'm gonna say Soul Division's the weakest one.
Okay. Well, I'm just curious.
Oh,
okay. If you
like, honestly though, I think it would be Body Division for me.
Is the weakest?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would think
now,
so.
where would you put like, so the Tempest Gaming, for example, where would you put them if they were in Body and Soul? Do you think they would still be number one?
Okay, first of all, I think some of their games have been quite lucky. I'm just saying, I'm not out of honesty, because they do some really wacko drafts that I clearly think some teams could have taken advantage of and they didn't. But how they match up with everyone? Are you just talking about Life and like Sunday, Saturday? Because that's like I guess the first playoff run.
So like if you slot Tempest Gaming into like Bellfire spot at the beginning, do you think
Okay.
they're still number one? Because
No.
if you're saying Soul Division or Body Division are worse divisions than Life, do you think like the number one team in Life is still good enough to get number one in like beat Essential Lightning
No.
and Final Boss or Essential
No.
Thunder, or do you think they're gonna be like
No.
another middle of the pack team?
They wouldn't be a middle of the pack team. They'll be like almost where Death Cards is, with like 1 game and 5. Like, you know,
Okay.
they would actually make that division a bit weaker. But
Excuse me.
like
Sorry.
like
Why couldn't we
TPG,
get
like
Light
TPG,
Division?
like the only reason why they're winning right now is because they play really wacko drafts that don't matter in a best of 3. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So in a
Yeah.
best of 3, they're the way they draft doesn't matter. But in a best of 1, you're catching your opponents off guard, like what FrankyG said, the Teemo
Yeah.
situation. I understand the Teemo situation very much, to where it's Teemo. I can play really aggressive, and then all of a sudden Jungle's always camping, and now Teemo is 6-1 or 6-0. He has a Leandres, he has a Luden's Echo. You're kind of screwed. It's gonna be really hard, even though it's still just a Teemo, right? And it gets you mentally like it's just a freaking Teemo, man. And
Yeah.
but you fed the lane, and it doesn't matter how much you counter the lane if your opposing laner is really, really strong and pushing against you, you're stuck in the lane, and he has the freedom to roam, get mid, get objectives, and just focus on just completely annihilating your lane, making sure that you, as much as he's irrelevant later on in the stages of the game, because that's how, like, I guess most of the counters work, right? Because evidently your counter will just be stronger, but you're making his position so irrelevant and just so non-neutral to his own team that just makes him seem like he's like weakest link too.
It's the classic. You pick Nunu not to get yourself ahead, but to make the enemy jungler as useless as you are.
Yeah. So that's all you do. It's kind of like the Soraka lane. Remember when Soraka was very viable before the nerfs and all that? Like,
Right. Yeah.
what you do as Soraka is not win lane. You just make the other laner feel so useless. Like that. I don't know, as useless as a Soraka. You know, you put them at your level, and it's kind of insane how that works. But you know, if it was definitely one-way street, then obviously, like, you know, Teemo would just be completely irrelevant in any and all games. He's just not so viable in a competitive league because of like possible well-organized ganks that can easily kill a low-health Teemo or vulnerable
Yeah.
Teemo. But
And
Yeah.
albeit Teemo is very specific, but obviously, like, there's a numerous amount of champions that do different jobs against different champions.
yeah. So, you know, and Black Jaguar, by the way, came up with a surprising win, which surprised even the great community out there that we got in our Discord and in our Twitch, with a successful win against Element 5. I did predicted them that they are pretty much unpredictable. It's the same thing with TPG right now, Tempest Gaming. They are unpredictable with their drafts, but I think Black Jaguar has it in them to actually do a better best of 5 games in the playoffs run than TPG would in their best of 5 games in the playoffs run. So, I kind of, hopefully I did answer that question that you just asked me, Falcon. Um, TPG is doing good, but I think they're just lucky with the win right now. I don't know.
All right.
Like, I don't see anything too special about them. Like, the Rams game looked completely tro as heck, to where I'm like, was this even a real game? Like, you know what I mean? To a real team, would that be considered a real game, or would it not?
Yeah.
I treat everything as real. Like, if someone's playing Rams jungle, they obviously are playing
It's like,
to win.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's troll. Like for sure, a team will troll.
just pick
evidently.
Rammus into like Vel'Koz and Vhagar, Poppy, screw
Master
it.
Yi.
Anything in just random champions that like don't even counter or Rammus doesn't even counter. I feel like Rammus is just, you only pick Rammus if you don't actually play jungle and you need a jungler, or it's
I disagree. I think Rammus is a good pick.
Really? I think Rammus
Counter
is like a
pick.
counter pick
He's
only.
okay.
That's just me.
I think you can't blind pick him, but he's a decent pick
And the other thing
in some situations.
I think the other killer thing about the Rammus pick for them is that the person actually plays Rammus really, really well, like a one-trick kind of player. So
Respect.
Yeah, you ban Rammus,
Weird.
then what does that guy do, right?
It goes off on the point you said, Michael, where if someone's a hard one trick, you put him on that champion.
Oh no!
Based on
Honestly,
comfortability.
my thought process is like if you're a hard Rammus one trick, what rank is this guy? I'm gonna say yes. Screw it. I'm gonna say this right now. If you're a hard Rammus one trick and like you barely make mid diamond, congratulations, dude. You ban Rammus. Rammus is not a skilled champion. Like, you know how to path, which is nice, but like, put you on like a more mechanical champion, you're not gonna be as effective. Simple as that. Like
In this meta, I
Rammus,
don't think you need to be.
Rammus, you press the Q button, you
He's a
go
platform.
AFK, you fall asleep, then you hit taunt. It's like, congratulations, dude. Nutty player.
He's a plat 4. Plays 80 games of Rammus with a 60% win rate, and 2 wins and 8 losses this week. Oh no!
Boy.
Oh boy! I hope I
I'm
don't
not
bring him
gonna.
down.
I'm not gonna go down this rabbit hole then, because I don't want to insult anyone.
Yeah, me
but-
neither. But I kind of already
Yeah,
did.
same.
But I don't want to keep going.
All right, we
I don't want
continue
to
then.
keep going. That was not on purpose,
Okay.
or maybe it was. I don't know. You decide.
Yo, I'm gonna get some flame. I'm gonna get some DM messages from someone who I don't know, being like, "Why are you flaming my Rammus play?"
Don't worry about it. I know who it is, and yes, you might, and I might, and I'm just gonna fall asleep though. So my phone will be ringing, but I won't be answering.
My
guys.
response is gonna be okay. Period.
That's the kind of thing Rammus does too, right? So
Yeah.
going to what people think, or from the great community think, mentioning this division is a waste of time. 100%. That Soul Division talking smack. So get out of here, Soul Division. You're the worst division out there.
Yeah, I will say that like I look at the trash talk channel. It's like
Yeah.
always Ascension people going after Akuma's next, and always Akuma guys going after Ascension next.
The
It's
veteran
just like
teams.
the two of them just having their own little fight, while the real good teams like Mercanimus, Mad, etc., ourselves, like we're out here chilling. You don't see much smack talk because we respect each
Yeah.
other and we understand that like good League of Legends is good League of Legends.
Yeah.
Well, to a certain extent, it's good for the community.
Oh yeah,
I think.
I'm
Banter's always
joking. I'm
welcome.
joking, but
Dude,
yeah.
banter is so funny, man. Like, it's honestly worth to just look at to see what people are
True.
saying, and it's a good laugh, it's a good smile. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, wait until they get smacked, and then we're gonna watch some even more spicier content. It's like crazy. I love it. I love it so much. I hope people don't.
Just spam the Kirby GIF.
Yeah, I
No,
don't know what that's
hubris.
all about.
Hubris, he does that. We all love Hubris. He does that. He's been doing that since like the past year. He's been really consistent, once a day or twice a day if he felt like he needed to do another Kirby dance. Not. But I love it. We
I
all
love Kirby. I love the
I
GIF.
could, yeah. Your Discord profile picture's Kirby. Your Twitch profile picture's a Kirby.
My background. Background is I have a plushie. I have the games.
Oh, really? Like
Kirby's sick.
the original stuff, like the Game Boy Advance and.
Oh no, I have it like a emulator on my PC.
Oh,
and then,
emulator. That's still as
yeah.
good. Maybe even better.
And then I have the Nintendo Switch, the old system, downloaded onto it.
Nice.
Those have been so good of a games. But right now, seeing the week 4 schedule, which we will get that at the end of the podcast, which team has the hardest schedule for week 4?
Can I see the schedule?
Yeah, it should be in stream schedules. I actually, oh my gosh, I think I would want one of you to send me a link. Or am I logged in? I'm logged in.
I'm looking at the schedule right now. Give me a
Week
second.
4 for.
I didn't mean to hit stats.
All right.
Rankings.
Okay, I have it right now.
Two.
Oh, it was reformatted by Chris Silva from Final Five, by the way. He did it for me. I
Okay.
copy pasted, and it's beautiful. I love it. Oh, what did I do?
I think it's katanas. Simple
Which
as that. Like
division are we doing?
Life.
Or, oh no, is it
life?
Okay.
Oh, I was
Yeah,
gonna say
life.
in general, I was gonna say the hardest is going to be Kuma Katanas as the hardest like week 4 out of all teams in all divisions. Simple as that. They're playing against the number 1 team in Thunder, and then they are playing against Rated R, I think, the team that already beat them once and is like gunning for their spot.
The hardest team that I see right now is gonna be Tempest Gaming. They're going against Black Jaguar Gaming and Final Five. They're gonna have the toughest schedule. When they lose, because I am gonna vote against them, by the way. My predictions will not change. Tempest is losing 2-0 this week.
Ooh.
You know?
I said okay.
They're going 0-2 this week. No one can change my mind on this. It's gonna happen. Don't worry about it. You guys
how are Black Jaguar Gaming? I don't know much about them.
They are all of a sudden getting up there. They didn't have a good start, but you start seeing like, that they play pretty harsh. They absolutely play like I don't even know. There's so much to digest it, because at the same time when they went against Element 5 where they looked like at their best, Element 5, I mean, they were like impatient with their gameplay. So there was a lot of back and forth that Black Jaguar was kind of like not used to, I guess, in a sudden way. But Black Jaguar, evidently later on in the game, it would start becoming completely one-sided, like because of all the kerfuffle, I guess. I don't know how you say that, but there's like a lot of back and forth between Black Jaguar and Element 5. But Black Jaguar, they had it. It was still a really, really close game. It really was, because Trigger was absolutely crushing it in those games. Like, he was just, I don't know, Trigger's like one of the best mid laners out there in this league at the moment here. He does really, really good work. So for Black Jaguar to be able to be playing the game that they played against Element 5, if they play exactly the same way, I think these guys, they have the draft good for themselves, not good for, like, I guess in a professional way. You know what I mean? Like what people would love to draft. But they definitely play through comfort, and then they play aggressively with the comfort. Tempest Gaming like to play with a lot of strategy. I mean, if one piece of that puzzle just falls off from Tempest Gaming, Black Jaguar is just gonna take it home. Like,
yeah, knowing that, then as long as you just trip Tempest a little bit, trip someone's foot, I think they'll go 0-2. If something falls over, the rest will fall over.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you. I think they can go 0-2.
This would tell us that they are at the same time. I mean, how did they do in their first week for Tempest? Because the second half is what's going to be important. Good thing this thing resets on round 1, though I don't want it to. Tempest beat Final
overall,
5
like
last time.
for my overview of Light Division is like, I still hold the opinion that it's the weakest division. Especially if you say that like the best team is there, like the best team in like brackets wise because of luck. Like, that's all I see. Life, and I think it's the group of Life. Like, that's all I see. And nothing can really change my mind until like if a Life team finds a way to like take a couple wins off of another division in playoffs, then like, okay, congratulations, you can prove me wrong. But until that point, Life is the weakest group. Simple as that.
Okay. I mean, Soul is strong. I think we would still have to pin like Life and Body, but right now, I mean, Life and Body are in big trouble overall. Anyways, but right now, once again, weakest division. Tempest Gaming have gone from 0 to hero this season compared to last. Sure, did. Middle pack has been really interesting. Lots of the teams are scrapping it out and constant changing standings. That true? Has that been happening?
What happened?
Constant change in standing. So far, I think this past standings, I think it's been about the same. Besides Goth Boy Click just losing their position and giving it over to everyone. That's about it that happened there. Someone else also thinks this is an overall weakest division as well, and it's still one of the spicier ones. But the ones that they believe is doing poorly, which are the only 3 teams listed here, is Wolfpack, E5, and Mercstorm. Which I'm not entirely sure about the E5 being in the same level as Wolfpack right now. I think there is definitely a complete diversity of in comparison there. And then some of the newer names, which is like Tempest Gaming, Final Fight, and Black Jaguar, you know, they say that, oh my gosh, this has to be so unbiased. Tempest Gaming showed up that they are no joke with another 2-0 this week. That puts them at 5-1.
They're no joke.
They are
Tempest,
no joke.
Tempest is going to win Phoenix Rising League. There it is.
You know what? I'll take that.
Merc Nimbus, Mad
Someone quote
City.
that.
Mad City versus this Tempest team. Like, it's one-sided. What can I say?
One side.
They just outclass everybody.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, in logo,
Coach Diff.
the text font.
Yeah, it's like,
forget about it, man.
I'm sorry. Like, I'm writing life off so heavily.
Mhm.
Like, that's all. There's no reason right now for me to like really say, oh, life has any chance whatsoever in their best team. Like, you could say, oh, they're no joke, but like, you're no joke compared to a bunch of other 8th graders while everyone else is playing in the college.
I love it.
It's
But
a bit harsh, but I agree.
But you know what? I do agree that it is pretty spicy in the live division. Like their games are, more of that struggle range. As in there hasn't been really a one-sided dominant side. It gets crazy in the early game, it gets crazy in the mid game, and then we finally get to see who's actually one-sided at the end. But even that, sometimes it's a little bit on the even side regardless. But you know what? Final 5, I think they are the guys to do it. And Black Jaguar Gaming, I just think that they had the roughest starting of the week. But these guys are shaping up to being the best. Tempest Gaming are kind of putting themselves, up on a pedestal at the moment here. And we all know that eventually that kind of like brings down even the best of us. So that can happen.
Honestly, like, I'm excited to watch a lot of the Life Division games. I've been watching them on occasion because our sister team's there. But I've always likened their games to being like most cult classics that are like they're bad, but it's so bad it's good. Like it's funny and fun to watch. So that's how I sum up Life Division.
That's exactly how this person put it, and in a way, he also agrees with the Black Jaguar. A little bit of an unknown at the moment here. They are unknown. Like I think their playstyle is to adapt. That's it. Like I don't think they come in. I don't think they come into play with a plan exactly. I think they just adapt to the situation. And then don't really care about this division. But although Tempest Gaming going 5-1. All right, cool. So. We got a lot of favorites for body mostly, which is super weird. I don't think, even though his body is the most favorite right now, I don't think it's the best one. But still,
Oh shit!
your phone. Don't break your phone.
I mean, yeah, okay. Of course, Body's gonna have the most fans because, like we were saying before, it's like the celebrity division. And it's the old rivals of Essentia versus Akuma, Glaive and Final Boss, like a bunch of teams are there that like have known each other for a while. They're gonna be at each other's necks. The most fans are gonna be there. It doesn't mean it's the best division. It just means it's like the most popular division. So
Yeah, there is
Yeah.
so much more going on in this description on the list. But the list is more like the top players. So what I'm thinking about doing on the top players list right now is put them on a spreadsheet and put them to the public, and that's
Oh,
about
it's
it.
like okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of players here, and I agree with most of them except for the ones that didn't really build up a big of a list at all. So I actually do prefer like a pretty decently large list, like 10 players. 15, 20 should be maximum. Should be maximum. But yeah, I will pin this on a spreadsheet and post it live somewhere.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it will be pretty cool. I actually want to see what other people think. And then next time when we throw this out for week 4, maybe we might even get way more responses. Well, with that, I mean, that concludes the all the divisions. So on a general perspective, I mean, I know we've been saying this like throughout the entire podcast. I still think Mind Division is the strongest. Saturday Division, which is Soul, is the second strongest. Body and Life Division, Friday and Sunday, are going to have the toughest time in this bracket that's going to be coming up in the finals for playoffs.
I mean, I would put just put Mind first, like Mind, massive gap, and then I actually would argue that Soul and Body are similar, and then Life, massive gap, then Life underneath. But that's just me.
Okay, what about you, Frankie?
Mind, Life, Soul, Body.
Wait, you think Life is above Soul and Body?
No, Life is down here. Mine's up
Oh,
here.
Soul and Body? Or okay.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Soul and Body.
Okay.
Yeah, I dig it.
I just don't know much about Soul and Body to like give an accurate answer for you.
Like
But-
I know you guys are from the Mind Division, but for those that are listening in, that was totally unbiased, 100%, because even on the forums here where we're asking like people what they think about Mind Division, even many others thought Mind Division's the best one right now.
Yeah, I mean, all I'm hearing, no one has yet to say Mind is not the strongest division by far.
Yeah, everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. Everyone's waiting for it. Everyone just wants to see how far Mind Division goes once they hit that playoffs run. Viewing more of the forum. The next week's forecast. Let's do next week's forecast right here, real. So, okay, I've already discussed that Life Division Tempest Gaming is gonna have the ride of their life. This is where it's gonna, either they show up or they shut up, right? Hopefully they don't show up if they don't show up. Anyways, like I would love to hear them from banter about how they lost and why they lost. I want to hear it more. I want to see what because they can still analyze the game even after from loss, right? Or anyone can. You guys, personally, you guys kind of have it easy. I mean, it's either you're going 1-1 or 2-0. Yeah. So
yeah,
I think Red Side's gonna win every single game for Mind.
That's what I was gonna say too. Which unfortunately you guys are on blue side, but
Yeah.
yeah.
There might be some games that are, coin flip, like some of our games, Merc Nimbus's games, or Phoenix Rebirth and Striking Viper, but the majority is Red Side focused, it looks like.
Yeah, I have that feeling too. I've had it since I made the schedule. I'm like, this Red Side looks pretty strong right now. Because you got Merc Nimbus, Phoenix Rebirth, Striking Vipers, and Mad City. And then Cetra, Exertion, Cetra again. And then you guys. Like, the whole Red Side right now for that day is stacked. So,
Well, you can also argue the blue side is too, but I was looking at
when all teams are good, of course it's going to be stacked.
Not just that, like at the beginning of draft is going to be super important for the blue side because
and Red always has an advantage.
Yeah.
Major advantage. Last pick and first 2 picks. Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't know what the strat's there. Don't tell me. Surprise us.
See, I overall looking at next week's forecast. From just a bystander's opinion, or if you're a bystander's viewpoint, I think the most important game, it has to be Akuma versus something R5, rated R, I think. Yeah, rated R versus Akuma Katanas. It will be the second game, I believe, which
Third.
will really
Third.
No, well, it's okay. It's the second game. Technically, the beginning of the second round robin, second game of the day, second set of games.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's that game right there basically solidifies rated R as the number 2 spot, so hardcore, or it makes 2 through 4 really interesting.
Well, not just solidify them second spot, but even if they don't get second spot and they keep the same record as Akuma Katanas, they are solid. They're gonna stay in that solid third position. Akuma Katanas cannot shake them off. They lose this one, they lose the second head-to-head.
Yeah.
And that's very important for Akuma Katanas. Just a big heads up there.
Yeah.
So for the Soul Division, I mean, of course, there's a lot less games, but Essential Thunder, and then going against Akuma Katanas, and then Akuma Katanas going against Rated R Esports.
Katanas is the hardest one. Like I said before, Katanas has the hardest schedule this upcoming week, and especially their game against Rated R. That's the most important game of the week as well.
Yeah, this is absolutely a devastating result if they come out 0-2 this week.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's gonna affect them so much. And then for Body Division, I think this one's only one side blue. That's the first game. Akuma Glaives and Glaive Umbra. Everything else is right side red. So, but the hardest schedule here, I think it's actually kind of,
you were saying?
The hardest schedule, I think everyone has a kind of good half of the schedule. I don't think anyone has a hard schedule. It's either all coming out 1-1 or 0-2. But anyone coming out 2-0 though, it should be Essential Lightning, and then no one else after that.
Yeah, I agree.
Sounds good. Yeah.
I mean, looking at it from my knowledge and my minimal knowledge on the teams, it does look like most teams will go 2-0 and 0-2, but obviously there's going to be some 1-1s in between too.
Yeah, the only one that could change that right now would be the APM game, which is Hydra Gaming on blue side versus Imperial Knights on red. That's the only one where Imperial Knights are either Hydra Gaming, they go against death cards, right? If they win, then it's a no-brainer that it should go 2-0, but we can't count death cards out just yet if they still play. But fact or logically speaking, they should have that game kind of easy for themselves. And then Imperial Knights, if they win, I mean, then Hydra Games going 1-1, and Imperial Knights are going to have troubles with TFT Crownless. So
I could see it.
All right, so that is the forecast. If anyone wants to write it down, they can. And remember it, because that is what's going to be kind of like my future prediction, unless I change my mind. Now, we'll see. I haven't been through my crystal ball of prediction yet. Final statement, guys. I mean, I really enjoyed you guys being here. But
thank you.
But overall, give me an overall final statement of so far what you guys think.
Yeah, I can start. Thanks for having me, obviously, on this podcast. I know I wasn't all that knowledgeable on the teams, and I regret it, and I wish I was. But this was very short notice when I was told to come. But
short notice is an understatement. Rai asked me to bring in a guest 2 seconds before we started, and I messaged Frank because he was online. I'm like, hey, do you want to do a podcast for 2 hours? And he was like, sure.
Yeah, I said, fuck it. I don't have anything else to do. But knowing all the information that I learned today, I think I'm learning a lot about the divisions, and I'm excited to see some of the teams we talked about play, and I think I'll watch the streams this weekend.
For me, I would say anyone who's looking to play League of Legends in college, please come to CSU. I think we have a great program here, and we have a lot of success from the collegiate scene. So come on over. It's going to be real nice. Aside from that, my division, easily the strongest division. Whoever wins my division is going to be the easy favorite to win the entire thing. Life division is one giant Clown Fiesta, and then the body division might like be filled with a bunch of talkative heads, but like if they only like spit out hot air without the real like skill to back it up, then like it's meaningless. And then I'm actually really excited to see how like I want you guys to be streaming both of the Akuma Katana's games coming up, because I think their game against Thunder is going to be really close, and their game against Rated R is also going to be really important.
They're both
So
on stream.
Yeah, they're both on stream. Yeah.
there it is. Let's go.
Let's
I'm gonna be
go.
watching them.
I'm always there, so not really
Yeah.
forced or anything. I still love it anyways, even if I wasn't broadcasting. But thank you guys so much.
right, thank you.
Falcon, I guess manager, coach.
Coordinator. I basically babysit all the boys.
Yeah. Make sure you visit them at esports CSU on Twitter, guys. It's right there, right below his name, for Falcon. And then FrankyG. I don't think that's a Twitter account, but it's
It's a Instagram handle.
Instagram handle. All right. So
Follow me.
he's really handsome. Go to Instagram. He does a lot of selfies, I think, right? I don't know.
He's
what Instagram
willing to
is.
give out feet pics as well.
No, that's illegal. We're not supposed to say that, man.
Wait, never mind. Ignore that.
Ignore it. Yeah, we did not
He'll
say
sell-
feet pics.
He might be selling a Gamer Boy bathwater.
Oh my god.
No, I don't stoop that low, but money's always convincing. So
Yeah.
hit me up.
The only one fans, right, or something like that.
The OnlyFans. Yeah.
Only fans. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
But at Frank the Tank, or wait, what? Frank Dang Tank.
The G Tank.
Dodgy Tank.
Frank the G Tank.
There you go. I made it
Yeah.
when I was like 12 years old.
On Instagram, guys. See him there. Once again, esports CSU. Make sure you see them there as well. Live announcements. Do you guys do like other events? Or
We do some community service, but other than that, I don't think we do anything open to the public.
Yeah, the issue is, so we are because we are CSU, we're a club sport at our university, which means a lot of our activities were kind of halted because of the virus and everything.
Yeah.
So we were going to be planning on, or we were going to be traveling a little bit more. We were going to be like doing a lot more events. We like help coach the local high schools in the area as well, like as community service. But everything's kind of on halt right now. But I mean, like I was saying, we have a lot of stuff coming up in fall and next spring. It's very active, both in game and out of game. So we're always going to be doing things.
That's unfortunate. And when you do those events, please post them on Twitter. I would love to see that kind of thing.
Sounds good.
You know,
Yeah.
like to see the whole team there too. You know, like everyone like shoulder around, arm around the shoulder, smiling, everything with
Yep.
the official CSU jersey. Do you guys have one?
So
You can explain this.
we have jerseys from last year, but
Okay.
long story short, we ordered jerseys for this year back in like September,
Okay.
and there was a bunch of delays. Then we found out we didn't order them actually, and there was more delays than Corona. So we have the jerseys now. Technically, we have the jerseys. We just can't give them out because we're unable to like really meet up right now.
Yeah, so keep in mind that our finals week is next
Can you
week.
show it? Can you show it? Where are they?
We don't. I don't have them.
Oh,
The president of the club has them at his place.
dang.
But like it's been such an annoyance at this point. Like there's been a ongoing joke of like jerseys where we just spam all of like the president of the club, the vice president, all their officers, including myself. Like, where's the jerseys? Like, when are we getting our jerseys? And that's all this stuff. So it's kind of annoying. I wanted to kill the meme for the past like 5 months, but at this point it's gonna live forever. It's gonna live forever.
That's a great memory down the road.
Yeah.
But all right, thank you guys so much. Much
Yeah,
love to you
thank you.
guys. Yeah. So with that, we conclude the podcast. Thank you for anyone that is listening in and tuning in. We passed over the 4-minute mark, so just a little bit over 2 hours. But once again, that's it. Conclude.
There it is.
Thank you so much. See you later, CSU, and we'll see you
thank
all
you.
week
go
4.
Rams.
Go Rams, I guess.
Go Rams.